Hi Emma, here is a first pass at your plant room or laundry room. So this is a very basic suggestion. Ignore the fact that these shelves overhang. It's because I've gone to a non-standard size on that bay. That is, I'll just cut these two shelves down. That's part of the system. Cut parts are still covered by the 10-year warranty. So these are 500mm deep shelves. The top one is a single 120 span, slightly cut down as I mentioned earlier, and these are 600mm spans. Again, that one's slightly cut down. You don't actually have to have shelves there. Let me just show you something quickly. You could do that waist height shelf as a rail only option. There is absolutely no point putting a shelf in there. It just reduces the hanging drop for the items above. And let me I'm going to show you one more thing in that bay. You also have the option of putting just shelves in there. Sorry, those clothes shouldn't be there. I'm just going to hide those quickly. So you've got the option. I think in your notes you've mentioned double height hanging, but you have also got the option of just putting a bunch of shelves in there, which I'm just showing you quickly now. Okay, so there's some clothes in there that shouldn't be there. Let's move on to, that's C1, and I'll give you 2D drawings and some 3D screen grabs of all of these. Let's move to C2, where rather than have a second waist height rail, I've used this little shape here to create some hanging for gliding items. Now, I've shown baskets there. They could also be gliding shoe racks, and on the top here I've shown what Elfa call a basket shelf, which is, it's basically one of their flat wire shelves, but it's got this little upstand at the front, and by combining that with divisions which form end caps and divisions along the middle, these are really good for storing, I guess in this context, washing powder, household cleaners, odds and sods for the laundry, that kind of thing. It's just, particularly with the little divisions, it's a really useful product for that kind of thing. Now up in this corner I've shown some 300mm deep shelves. They will actually require about 330mm, so we need to know what the distance is between this heat recovery unit and the wall here. So at the moment what have I got? I've got, okay, I didn't measure it the way I wanted. Yeah, it's that distance there. I've got about 300mm. So if you can tell me what that gap is, we can figure out what might be possible to do with it. And while we're talking about that, let's go to concept 3, where I've shown 300mm is the shallowest wire shelf Elfa make, but they also make a number of pressed metal, what they call a shelf tray, which comes in either 100mm deep or 250mm deep. So that might be another option. Even the 100mm, it's just a nice way to use this wall, and it could be cleaning products, it could be anything that you're finding on there. And Elfa also make little container tubs that sit nicely on those shelves or trays as well. So C1 and C2 are trying to squeeze a little bit more out of the space. C1 is just a very basic presentation of hanging rails. I wonder if I can undo that. Yes, I can. Okay. So I'm going to send you some screen grabs of these and some 2D drawings. I will try and price them today as well, although I'm kind of running out of time. Okay, let me know what you think, and be good to hear your feedback. Speak soon.